tough decisions. I think we're at 6 now, I believe. So, anyways, this student athlete, he was he was put in a situation by himself. I mean, it was his decisions that led his grades to where they were. So the first step was you need to take accountability. So you need to say, I am wherever I am because of me and the decisions I have made. Once you can get that kind of brutal honesty with yourself, then we can actually sit down and map something out where you can actually take action and you can move towards where your goals are. And again, like I said, we're not going to make decisions for people. So, because we don't know what they're thinking, we don't know what all of their reality is. So after this person sat down and said, all right, well, I need to get my grades up, I, I was unaware that I needed them to be more than where they are. So he already had some people that were interested, but he knew this is what I'm gonna have to do. And I said, okay, well, you got to do whatever you got to do in this next year to get your grades to where they reflect somebody who's committed to show a college that they're all in and they're going to be a good investment. Because that's what it is. It's basically like going in for an interview. And if your resume, which also has to do with your GPA, if your resume doesn't reflect somebody who somebody's going to want in their system, that they're really going to pay for you to be there, or they're going to give you an opportunity to be on their team and to flourish. If you're not a person that is their past actions have been reflective of that and it shows up on your GPA, then, or if you didn't do well in ninth, that like it starts to kind of jump up. Where's your SAT at? Did you take it once? Are you taking it more than once? Are you preparing? Are you making, are you progressing on it? Are you regressing on it? All those things matter. So this person sat down and it was hard, and it took him a few months to make the decision. And when he made a decision, he said, listen, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get myself, where I need to be. And I said, okay, so let me see, what are your plans? His plans, they were pretty drastic, but I think they were necessary because he was feeling like he didn't have enough time for his homework, and that was, hurting him when it came time for report cards. So he sat down and made the unpopular decision of, a hometown hero. So he put himself in a situation where he said, I'll have no one to blame but myself if I can't get to where I need to get by making these decisions. So what he did, and it definitely didn't in the short term please anybody, and I mean anybody. I mean family, friends, you name it. You probably had a couple of people that were supportive, but not many. And everybody, like the family, came around. It took a little time though, because again, they have their expectations. They're like, oh, he's going to do this, and everybody feels proud when your kid's in the paper and they're winning, and it's whatever, but it's not reality. It's not what has to do with where you're trying to get to next. So get real clear on those next actions and set yourself up. So this person, what they decided to do was they decided they were going to miss a couple sports seasons. Um, and uh, and again, they had played 3 sports their entire life. They actually had played another sport, but the bottom line was it was not going to be the popular decision. Now you're going to tell me that this kid getting his grades up wasn't more important than 2 different teams having him on the team. Now again, that's short-sightedness. If you're in the school district and you sit down and you say, hey, what's going on with this kid, and you actually have a conversation, and then he lays out what his decisions are, if somebody would have done that, he may have actually said, hey, you know what, you can come in at this time, I'll work with you, we'll get your grades up anyway, and you can still do this. I don't know that that would have been possible, but it didn't happen. So since it didn't happen, luckily for the kid, he stuck with his decision by his actions and reinforced, I'm going to get there. I'm going to do this. Nobody's going to tell me I can't. And my grades are coming up and I am on the rise. And whoever gets me on their team in college is going to be really, really fortunate and proud of the day that they took a chance on a kid who maybe at first didn't look like he was committed academically, but rose his level of expectations, his standards, changed his habits, and boom, a year later, he's committed to going to a school, and he did everything that he wanted to do in high school as far as goals went, and he raised his GPA, and he did all these other things. And along the way, everybody else kind of came around, but they didn't know the struggles he had going on. They didn't know what he was going through decision-making wise. Sure, he would have loved playing everything. Who wouldn't?